How would you feel if there was a reality show where flat earthers have to find the edge of the world? Now let's read some comments. It would fit perfectly in line with those reality TV History Channel shows where they treat everything they find like it's some big revelation, but in the end it's never anything of substance, ever. I found a mail over here. Narrator's voiceover. Could it be from a 16th century Spanish galleon? Or the True Cross? Next on the Curse of Oak Island. Reminds me of Zach Baggins on Ghost Adventures. Tiny knock on window. Could this be a message from the tormented ghosts of the slaves trapped in this plantation, begging to be released from their chains? It would honestly be really entertaining to see some of these folks try and plan such a trip. It would probably turn into a survival show in 2 episodes. It seems so easy to prove it is flat if it actually were. Watch Behind the Curve on Netflix. It's hilarious watching them prove the earth is round over and over again, then argue their own logic. Hell yeah. Flat Earther Battle Royale. Will Team D be able to prove that their team leader is being framed for meth precision by NASA Masons? Will Team C raise the funds for an Arctic explorer after spending all their petty cash on Lyle's dietary pizza rolls? Tune in next season for a expedition. Nah, you'd have them just accuse the boat captains or plane pilots of sabotaging them. It'd be like one of those household reality shows where they just bicker all the time. Because who the hell is going to let one of these guys be in control of something more expensive than a row boat? Would be hilarious to make it like The Amazing Race, where the first team to find the edge of the world wins a large cash prize and we can all watch them scrambling around with their conspiracy maps trying to travel to obscure parts of the world and see their priceless reaction when they realize they were wrong. Absolutely fantastic. Does that show still come on? That was a pretty good show. Watched it for tons of seasons. They could just put flat earthers on that show. I looked it up one time because I was curious what they think it looks like, and the map on the Flat Earth Society site actually has Antarctica around the entire edge and everything else is inside that ring. It's not quite what a lot of us think they mean when they say it's flat. Nothing quite as dramatic as the world's end in Pirates of the Caribbean. So long as tax dollars aren't spent rescuing these retards from their stranded hot air balloons. Realize they were wrong. That's not exactly how these things work. It is very difficult for people to accept when they are wrong, much less to admit and apologize for it. Instead, human nature doubles down. We are very prideful creatures and pride is far stronger than logic. Or, you give them the prize money up front. Here's $1 million. Now sail to the edge of the earth with our cameras along for the ride. But you have to give the money back when you fail. The trick would be to not stop recording when they get back and watch their entire world crumble when their online clicks reject and accuse them of being in on the conspiracy when they fail. The best part of that is you could have the entire cash prize just sitting there and never have to pay out anything aside from the film crew/travel expenses. Pitch this. Day 2, Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. Spirits are high and the weather is quite pleasant. Our insertion to bypass the United Nations military guarding the Antarctic coastline was a perfect success. They have no idea we're here. Our plan is to follow compass heading to south as far as we can go. We have supplies for 3 months, but we expect to find the edge in 2 weeks, 3 at most. Day 15, Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. Have not found the wall yet. Terrain is getting higher, so we must be getting close though. Weather continues favorable. Day 18, Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. Horrible news. Our lead snowmobile hit a crevasse and fell down, along with 2 of our crew. We could not see the bottom with our lights, and although we could hear one of them shouting back, the mountaineering equipment was on the sled of that snowmobile. There was nothing we could do for them. More worryingly, we also lost a large amount of food and fuel, as well as our radio. We do not have a satellite phone as those are a scam. Still, we have enough to make it back, and then some. Day 21, Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. It's getting harder to breathe. Some of the air must be leaking through the dome, so we are probably getting close now. Shame that not all of us did get to see it. Day 22, Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. Last night, a blizzard begun, and has been going for the entire day. No progress today. Hopefully the weather will clear up soon. Day 27. Antarctic Ice Wall Expedition. The blizzard continues, and if anything it's getting worse. We have been stuck in our tents for almost a week now, but the call of the wall is still strong. Day 28. Better weather today. We have decided to go on. The compass still shows us the direction, and we don't want to return yet. This may be our only chance to find the wall and prove the globe lies wrong. Day 29. Antarctic ice wall expedition, or at least my half of it. We lost sight of each other in a sudden flurry, and when it cleared up the others were nowhere in sight. There's just the three of us now. We have several cans of tuna, fuel for several days, and there's plenty of drinking water around us, but not enough to make it back to the coast alone. Compass is becoming erratic, but we do have the ring laser gyroscope. It's showing a 15 degrees per hour drift, but the only option we have is to keep going south until we find the wall. That way, at least this'll has not been for naught. Day 35. A blizzard again. Lawrence said he was just going outside, and maybe sometime. Day 36. No sight of Lawrence. Day 40. Every day we've been ready to start for the last leg to the wall, but outside the door of the tent it remains a scene of whirling drift. We do not think we can hope for any better things now. We shall stick it out to the end, but we are getting weaker, of course, and the end cannot be far. It seems a pity, but I do not think I can write any more. Last entry. For God's sake look after our people. And then someone at the end big brains and says, you guys, I figured it out. It was there all along. *points up. The edge is up there. Behind the Curve was a great documentary about flat earthers trying to seek out the scientific proof that the earth is flat. There's all this build up to the moment when they are doing this experiment with a laser gyroscope that they believed would reveal that the earth was flat, and their result proved the opposite, revealing more evidence for the earth's curvature. It was a priceless moment. That's my issue with this idea though. From what I've heard, I haven't actually watched it, they still didn't back down. Even after the experiment they thought the earth was flat. Clearly the experiment went wrong or something. I don't think evidence can change these people's minds, unfortunately. Great documentary. It was interesting and sad to watch at the same time. They probably know deep in their heart that the flat earth they believe is BS, but most of them are afraid of being abandoned by this community. Even after conducting this experiment, when the titles rolled, they were contradicting themselves on the experiment's results. There is this main guy who thinks he is a flat earth celebrity. Mark, I think, says that the earth is surrounded by a big giant snow wall and the stars we see in the night sky are just projections. The issue would be that most of them think the North Pole is the center of the world, and that the earth opens up / flattens as you go south, with Antarctica basically being the circular edge. So to find the edge, they'd have to take a journey to Antarctica and hike to its center plus past that, which would be costly and risky as duck, not only to the participants but the crew. And then, even if they survived central Antarctica and made it to the opposite shore, they'd just claim that they got turned around or something. So nothing would change. Okay, so 2 or 3 groups then. Each one starts halfway, or a third of the way around the world from each other, and all head towards their own respective south poles. By their logic, it would be impossible to run into each other, because the other groups are literally on the other side of the flat earth. So then when they do all meet up at the South Pole, I mean, everyone else knows it's like a movie about the Titanic. We all know how it will end. But the story of getting to that ending would be interesting AF. This is probably the real answer right here. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. Either they cross the South Pole and see the earth is round, or they get a Darwin Award in the process. Win-win. But seriously, this actually annoys more than anything else about flat earthers. I literally checked. You can charter a plane from Australia / New Zealand that flies you over the South Pole for like $2,000. Why the duck wouldn't any of these people make the minimum effort to see with their own eyes what they're claiming is a giant conspiracy. Literally no other conspiracy would be that easy to prove right / wrong with your own eyes. The fact that none of them have ever bothered to go find the ice wall proves they don't actually believe any of their own I wanna see that though, and every episode they make it clear that if they admit the earth is round they don't have to live in such extreme conditions anymore. Put them on a rocket with Tom Cruise and send them to the ice. Have the dopshits explain that. This would very quickly devolve into conspiracies against the production company and the people operating the boat or the equipment being sabotaged. Unfortunately, in theory it'd be awesome. In practice they'd almost immediately come up with 50 excuses, and no minds would be changed. And conspiracies about the participants for being government shills, if they don't seem to be progressing, or begin to doubt in any way. Flat earthers would turn on them, if they don't keep toeing the line. Yes, reality and goalposts are constantly shifting for these people. Like with all the crazy folks storming the Capitol, when things don't go their way then suddenly they're claiming it was a false flag operation carried out by Antifa and left-wing groups. You could have the most die-hard top-shelf flat earthers going on record and finally conceding that the earth is a sphere, and all the other flat earthers would just say they were killed and replaced with a double/clone/actor, or that they were actually a government agent all along, etc. No amount of evidence will ever be enough. True. But it might be a good way to round up some idiots and busy up their time. Kind of a community service. It wouldn't work. They have an explanation. When you approach the ice wall at the edge of the earth you magically get teleported back further inland. Seriously. Every single time you catch them in one of their logical absurdities, each time they invent an explanation even stupider than the last. It's like trying to debate creationists and QAnon people. You just keep going in circles as they flatly deny every piece of evidence staring them in the face. It would be really sad. These people probably come to these conclusions because of stuff going on in their lives. Maybe they lost a loved one, maybe went through a bad divorce, maybe life's stresses are too much to handle, and they find comfort in a community that thinks they know better than all of us. My boss retired early, has rental income, house, great family, kids, and he still believed it. Probably because he retired early and got nothing else to do. I'm of the opinion that most people who believe in flat earth or any, if crazy theories are trolls looking for bait. If you go to a lot of places where they discuss about flat earth there is a lot more people calling them than people actually discussing it. No. This just give oxygen to nonsense that only exists to draw eyeballs towards nonsense. Flat earthers are basically a marketing meme that draws eyeballs towards something that allows people to judge people just like Jerry Springer or Honey Boo Boo. Please stop and delete all references to _ flat earthers, and they will go back to being 10 people in the entire world. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more videos. Also like the video if you enjoy it.